What's up, YouTube fans? Today I want to take a look at the Metagate Huge Fire, their version of a Bumblebee movie, Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. So this was sent to me by Dr. Diecast. He sent me a bunch of stuff. This is one of the things that came in that big box, and he is a big Shattered Glass fan. So thanks to Dr. Diecast for sending this for review, among other things. And I haven't actually looked at this mold, so I was kind of excited to take a look at what Metagate can do in this scale. Now, it is smaller than Legend scale. Later, we'll do a comparison with some other figures, but it's kind of right in the middle of Legends and like Dr. Wu size, so it's interesting that they're kind of going off on their own scale. But let's take a look at the detail. You got the translucent green windows there, silver paint on the head, red for the eyes, silver all throughout for accents. You got a little bit of copper paint in here, tiny bit of detail. I wasn't expecting that kind of detail on this. A little bit orange paint here, more silver on the arms. Here's the back, plenty of paint here on the back. Again, not really expected for a smaller figure like this, but pretty highly detailed. As far as articulation, the head can go up to there, down through there. It's on a ball joint, so you get the side to side and it rotates all the way around. That's some pretty nice articulation. Shoulder rotates around on this joint, but it stops right there, which is interesting. No, I'm sorry. Maybe it does go all the way around. Something is hindering it, but it does rotate all the way around. You get a 90-degree bend at the elbow. You have a rotation at the bicep. The wrists are on pins. This one was broken when I took it out of the box. I did glue it, and it seems to be holding just fine. But you can rotate at the wrist. And we do have swappable hands, which we'll show a little bit later. You have a ab crunch all the way down to there, pretty much all the way. You have a rotation at the waist, so pretty much all the way. Legs go up to there. It's a really interesting joint. It's a hinged swivel, but it's a drop down piece. So you can get it up there, normally without moving that out. But then as you swing that hinge, you get it all the way up to there. So you get a full bend, really anything you'd want. Backwards, you can get it all the way back to there. Out to the side is on a ball joint, but you can get it all the way out. There's a hip skirt out here. Not really necessary. Works without it. You can kind of get extra ab crunches due to the fact that the hips both swing out. You can get them folded all the way flat. So lots of movement there. Rotation at the thigh. You also have a rotation at the mid-thigh at a cut joint. So it wasn't even needed. They didn't need that cut joint, but they put it in. Double jointed knee, and you have that kind of automorphing stuff that we see. Not automorphing, but, cover down piece that looks pretty good. You have ankle tilts all the way up to there, back to there, down, and nothing forward. But as far as accessories, you do get those hands I mentioned. I'm going to leave this one in, but I'll take this one off. Like I mentioned, that one was broken when I got it, so Dr. Diecast mentioned they are a little bit fragile. But you get this kind of open hand. I don't really like the way it's sculpted. The fingers are kind of too thin, or I don't know, it just doesn't look right. But you do have that option. Me personally, I just prefer having the fist, but nice to have the option. You can also take the gun. It's just done in this purple plastic. That will fit into the hand. And you can do that. You can blast some Decepticons or Autobots, I guess, since he's Shattered Glass. You do get the other side, by the way, if you want the jazz hands. And yeah, that's really it for accessories. And for a quick size comparison, there is next to the New Age Optimus Prime. And earlier I said it was kind of its own scale, but I guess it is Legend scale. It is a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller in the chest and the proportions, but it would fit in with a Legend scale display if you wanted it to. Now, we don't have a lot of Legend scale Bumblebee movie figures, but we are slowly getting those. So I think we just got a Bumblebee in this scale, but there you go. All right, let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. And it is a relatively complex transformation, but the hardware seems to work on this guy. So let's start with the arms. We're going to rotate the biceps 90 degrees. We're going to open up this panel here. I'm going to open up this panel on the top. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Right, next we'll take care of the upper body. So go ahead and come to the back. You can unpeg this from here. You can unpeg the front from here. And we're going to kind of explode all of this. So lift up on this. You can open this up. The head's going to end up down here in this position. And we can open up these windows pieces here. We're going to take the arms, bring those down. And we're going to rotate them so they're laying flat. We're going to take, oh, and I had the wrong direction. It should be this direction, so you have the smokestacks to the back. You can open up the legs here, and one of them already folded, but you're going to fold these hip skirts in. And you can bring this back down, and we'll take care of the legs a little bit later. So let's take care of all of this. So you can kind of see the front of the cab here. So you can fold that out like that. This is going to sit up for now. We're going to take these arm pieces, and these are going to rotate inwards all the way around. It's a little counterintuitive because these end up on the top, and we'll take care of that in a minute, but it is a little weird. Then these are going to come down and sit right here. We're going to take these panels here, they're going to rotate backwards. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side and pushed in like that so they line up here. Then we can take this panel here, bring this down. There's a little tab and a notch right there. So get that lined up. And tabbed in, and you can close these side doors, and that's kind of how it looks. Take this panel here, and this is going to actually accordion up and sit like that. Right, now we can take care of these legs. And earlier I mentioned I wasn't sure why I had 2 thigh rotations. That's because it's part of the transformation. So come to the bottom here, you're going to fold down the foot, open up this panel, fold back from the heel so it comes down like this. We can open up this panel here, rotate at the thigh so it ends up with the wheels on the top here. We're going to slide this down, the wheels on a slider all the way down, and then they're going to fold inwards and tab into here. End up all the way down and tabbed in right here. All right, and you do the same thing on the other side. This side does have a little peg. It's actually kind of hard to get to, so I recommend a spudger just to get in here and pop that little tab out. Otherwise, you'll have a hard time getting it with your finger, but you need that tab out. And now we can peg the two together. So it should look like that. Then we're going to take this and line this up. This is going to kind of sit up like this. So you just have to make sure it's in the right position. So I like to take this piece, line this all up. There's 2 pegs on the inside, so get that pegged in here and here on the front. That'll really hold us together quite well. I was kind of impressed how well it compacted, but give that a nice squeeze, make sure you get that, and then last step here, you're going to fold these down. I do find this a little weird, but these are going to sit down like this, so that's actually the top of the smokestack. Alright, there is Huge Fire in his vehicle mode. And it looks pretty good from the front. You know, you got the nice metallic green with the silver paint, but as soon as you come to the side, it falls apart. I mean, it's just so many kibbly pieces and bits, and then the back is really... it tends to be the Bumblebee movie Optimus's, just the back part really doesn't work out, and you end up with something like this. Now you can take the gun and peg that in if you want. I don't know if it really helps, but you can peg that in, and I don't know. It just doesn't look great. It does roll nicely though on those wheels, and at least from the front you got some nice painted fog lights and windows, and then the side windows are also painted. And for a quick size comparison, there is next to the New Age Optimus Prime trailer, and pretty similar in size. Here's what it looks like with the trailer. Obviously doesn't fit, but it could work in the Legend scale display just based on this trailer. So final recommendations on the Metagate Huge Fire. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. I think this is a pretty good version of a Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime. The overall materials and articulation are pretty much outstanding. They did a great job on fitting in enough hardware and enough pieces here. You know, there's a lot of parts count to allow it to have really good articulation. The vehicle mode does leave a little bit to be desired. The truck is kind of, pretty ugly. But that's to be expected with, Optimus from this timeline, from the Bumblebee movie. Accessories are okay. The gun works, the hands work, but they're nothing special. But really where it shines is the robot mode, and the articulation is very, very impressive. The transformation, again, Metagate tends to do complicated transformations, but it works, and the materials hold up, and it does look good. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.